Hey, welcome. So today I'm going to go over a pretty boring topic, honestly, but it's an important topic. That is configuring email domains in GoHighLevel so you can ensure that your emails or your clients' emails get out of spam and land in the inbox. Now, not too long ago, maybe last year, GoHighLevel rolled out the ability to add dedicated domains, and they even added the ability to lease dedicated IP addresses for email, all in an effort to improve domain reputation for you, your clients, and your sub accounts. Now, today we're going to go over the domain portion, so let's hop right in. Now, first and foremost, one thing you're going to want to do, or I recommend doing, is purchasing a disposable domain. Now, what do I mean by a disposable domain? Leadbrain.io, let's see if I can get my handy dandy pen out here to work. So leadbrain.io, that's my main domain. I don't want to use this domain, even though this is the second level domain or my main domain. I don't want to use this for my clients. Now I could, and I can attach subdomains to each and every one of them, but I really just don't want my main company name or my main company domain being used for my clients. So what I might do is set up a throwaway domain like, let's say, leadbrain.co. Sorry, pen's wigging out. So leadbrain.co, or maybe something like leadbrain.co, or maybe I can remove the leadbrain all in all and just come up with something generic like mailsender.pro, right? The reason for buying these disposable domain names is literally just to separate your clients from your actual company, because they are not an entity of your company. So maybe they should just be out on their own, right? So buy that subdomain, or not that subdomain, the disposable domain. And then the next thing we're going to do is configure a subdomain to help protect the main domain. Now, there is research out there. I actually had a search window up here that shows that subdomains can help protect your main domain. But there are times that if a lot of spam is coming from subdomains, that your main domain's email reputation can be affected. So in order to do that, that's why you buy that disposable domain I mentioned up front. Now, if you don't know what a subdomain is, it's not super important, but I'll come down here and show you what a subdomain is. So if you look at a normal website, all of us are familiar with the www.facebook.com. The www is actually a subdomain. Most people don't know that. And the second domain would be Facebook, or Leadbrain in this case. And then the top level domain would be .io, or if you're used to seeing a .com, the .com would be a top level domain. Same thing goes for this next example here, like go.leadbrain.io. Go is the subdomain, Leadbrain is the second level domain, and IO is the top level domain. If you just see something like leadbrain.io, that's a second level domain and a top level domain. If that makes zero sense to you, it doesn't freaking matter. We're still going to go in and configure it. It's not super important for you to know this. It's not rocket science. So let's go ahead and hop in. I actually have to set this up for one of my new clients, and so I figured I'd take you with me. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come into settings, and then we're going to go into email services. And once you do this, if you're in this for the first time, you'll see this pop-up come up. But if you don't worry about it. You'll be able to add it on your own. But let's go ahead and click Create a Dedicated Domain. And in here, we're going to add a subdomain for our disposable domain. And my disposable domain in this case is leadbrain.pro. So what I'm going to do is just create an acronym, right? So this is the name of the company here is Velvet Crown. So I'm going to say VCTC.leadbrain.pro. Now, it's important to note that it doesn't really matter what this subdomain, this highlighted portion, is for you, so long as it's unique from other subdomains that have been configured in the past in your domain, and so long as that it makes sense to you, right? So VCTC is just something I made up. Now, leadbrain.pro is something that I purchased. That's that disposable domain that I purchased. So that absolutely matters. Leadbrain.pro, I need to own that in order to configure this, because I have access to the DNS settings for leadbrain.pro. So for you, you just need to make sure that you own this part. That part matters. This subdomain part you can make up. Hopefully that's clear. So I'm going to click Add and Verify here. Now, GoHighLevel's done a great job of automatically adding these DNS settings to try to simplify it for you. If you use providers like, I think, Cloudflare, GoDaddy, Squarespace, and maybe some other ones. But I use Namecheap because I guess I like pain, but I have to add these records manually, but that provides me with a good opportunity to show you how to do that. So once this menu pops up here, instead of clicking continue, I'm going to click on add records manually, and this is going to pop up with the records that I need to configure inside of my DNS settings. So what I'm going to do is hop into my Namecheap, and all I did was log in here. This is where I purchased the leadbrain.pro domain, and this is also where my settings for my DNS server or for my DNS records reside. So all I'm going to do here is click on domain list, and I am going to search for my leadbrain.pro account. I'm a bit of a domain hoarder, I guess. I have to use the search function, and I'm going to click on manage. From here, I'm going to click on the advanced DNS settings. Now, if you're using something like GoDaddy or Squarespace or Cloudflare, these settings may be located in different areas, but it's pretty simple to find. If you go to Google and search like GoDaddy DNS settings, you'll find a help document to help you get to those DNS settings. Here in Namecheap, they call them advanced DNS settings. So I'll go ahead and click that. And once I do that and it loads, you should see all the DNS records for your domain. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start here. I'm going to go back to my account and copy this first record. So if you notice, this record is a text type record. I'm going to copy the host, and then I'm going to come into here and I'm going to change this record type to text record, and I'm just going to paste the host. Now, next thing I'm going to do is the value. So I'll copy that value, come in here, and I'm going to paste the value and just select my check mark. Next thing I'm going to do is come over here. I got another text record, VCTC, I can remember that. And required value, I'm going to copy that. So I'll add a new record, text, VCTC, and then paste that, save it. Next one is a CNAME record, email.vctc, I can remember that. Copy mailgun.org. So let's select CNAME, email.vctc. When in doubt, always copy and paste. Me getting fancy here is probably going to result in me messing it up live, but it's always good to just copy and paste. MX records. So if you're here in Namecheap, this can get a little confusing because MX records are not a type of record in here. So instead, what you're going to do is scroll down a little bit and you will see mail settings. And under here is where you can add new MX records. So we're going to click add new record. And we are going to copy this MXA, VCTC, paste that there. And the priority is going to be 10 and save. And then we're going to add another record. If you come over here, you realize these two are pretty much the same, but one is MXA and one is MXB. So we're going to come in here and add a new record, VCTC, MXB.mailgun.org. Now, if you see a period behind some of these record values here, don't worry. You don't need to add that. It'll get added all on its own. So we'll go ahead and save that. And maybe I spoke too soon. Hopefully it saves for us. There you go, saved. Okay, so now we got that. Now, one thing I am going to add here that's actually not listed here, and it is a little frustrating that they don't list it here because you kind of have to do this manually, but that is a DMARC record. And so DMARC records are important for landing in the inbox as well, because I don't really understand it to a great extent, but I think it has something to do with the send from address and the actual domain that the mail is coming from need to match, and it's sort of a security feature of emails. And so it's just required. Again, you don't need to be a rocket scientist at this stuff. Actually, I don't even know if it's required. I think it's just recommended. And so what we're going to do here is I have an old DMARC record in here somewhere that I can copy, and so I'm going to scroll up till I find one, _DMARC right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and we're going to go ahead and add another record, which is a text record, and we're going to say _DMARC, DMARC.VCTC, and then we're going to paste this DMARC version and DMARC policy, and we should have all the DNS settings already configured. Now, DNS is a global service, and there are different DNS providers and different DNS servers around the globe. And so these changes sometimes take a minute or two to replicate. So what you might do is we're going to go back into LeadBrain or GoHighLevel, and we're going to try to verify our domain. And the first time you do it, it might tell you like, hey, not everything's verified or verification failed. What you can do is go back into your DNS settings and make sure everything is kosher, make sure your record type and your key and your value are all set. And if they are, sometimes it just takes time to replicate. So let's go back into LeadBrain, and I'm going to click on Verify Records. And at this point, it looks like we had a first time go and everything was verified. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Verify Domain once again. Awesome. Once you see SSL issued and all those things are greened up, you're good to go. Now, I won't stop here. One thing I like to do as well is click on these three dots right here and click on Set Headers. And what I do here is I put the from name as the company name. Now, these are default headers that are going to be set for an IP address. So if you don't set like a from name or you don't set a from email address, these things are going to be set by default. Now, here I'm going to add the name of the company. And then for the from email, I'm going to just put info@vctc.leadbrain.pro, which is the subdomain that we just added, and click Save. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this from email address, and then I'm going to add a custom value. I already have the custom value here, but I'm going to fill it out. I have a custom value here named from email. Now, the reason I create this is because in every single one of my workflows or anywhere, maybe if it's in email campaigns, anytime it asks me for a from email, I just use this custom value so that the client doesn't put their own email in there. Because if they put an email in there, that's their main domain, and we're sending from vctc.leadbrain.io, that whole DMARC stuff we talked about, it's going to cause a mismatch, and that's going to go into spam immediately. So what I do is avoid that by setting up this custom value, and anywhere we send an email, and I train my clients that anywhere you send an email, use this custom value in the from email field. So we're going to go ahead and edit this and paste, and I'll show you a quick example in a workflow of what I mean by that. So that custom value is set. So let's go into automations, and then let's go into like one of these email drip sequences. And then if I click on this email, we should see, well, we're using a template. So let's edit this template. Of course, it wants to break on me. So let's go into marketing, email templates. Let's say aftercare instructions. Pop in here, email settings. If you notice, we've got from email, location email. That's wrong. We don't want that set there because the location email is actually probably their main email address. So what we want to do is delete that, come in here and search for our custom value, which is from email, and save that template. And now we should be good to go. So thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, if this was helpful for you, please go ahead and like, subscribe, or click or leave a comment. So thank you, and see you next time.